It is February 2nd, 2019. We're waiting to see Buckeye Chuck's official proclamation to occur in about an hour.
Manage your benefits today and tomorrow. See what you can do online.
And Buckeye Chuck has arrived on the scene.
Yeah, and we're gonna have Tallgrass Trail. Are you from the area? Oh, okay. It's just a couple miles down from the road. It's kind of like what Kokosi Gap Trail, Knox County, and Richland County have. So you can walk, you can bike. A half mile down to the lake, you can go fishing. They don't need a license until they're 16. Yep. And then we just opened up canoe and kayaking. So a lot of fun recreation opportunities that you guys can Facebook, like us, follow us.
Yeah, we got it cooking.
Oh, is it? Am I throwing that one in too?
News because Buckeye Chuck has such a great record. Matter of fact, he's right about 70% of the time. And well, let's hope he's. If he does not see his shadow, okay, if it's cloudy, that's great news because that means he sticks around, and that means spring is just around the corner. If he sees his shadow and he's scared back in that burrow, then that means 6 more weeks of winter. He's going to hunker down for the rest of winter, and let's just hope it's cloudy.
Is there anything else that you want to mention that I didn't ask?
No, not really. I mean, we do Spam sandwiches here. A lot of people come out and think that's funny. If you remember back in the day, you know, Spam was pork shoulder and ham. I'm not real sure what it is now. I didn't want to look at this.
Do we have anybody here from out of state?
James says someone's here from Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yeah.
And they came specifically for this?
Well, we'll have to get him on. Him or her.
Well, they don't sell Spam in Hawaii. They're awesome. But they're a big Spam fan.
If it took your phone, start recording it.
What's supposed to play right before you?
Does Scott have his Hawaiian shirt on?
I do.
Okay.
I'm ready, man.
Studio sponsorship.
I have a different Hawaiian shirt on this.
Why is it not very loud?
Because he had a pot of down.
Oh, we can't hear it. Pot, what we pot now?
Well, I guess Scott had him pot down the news. I had him pot it down a little bit because I didn't want it overpowering you if you were still making it down.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't hear the handoff now. Well, when it goes to the audio server, it'll be back up. Yeah, it was just the pot that fed the news, yeah. It's just like when we're doing Radiothon, we pot the news up so we can. Yep, I know what it's doing now.
Phil sees his shadow. If he sees his shadow, which he does 83% of the time.
Who cares about Phil?
I'm here to talk about Phil.
Who's here? Who cares about Phil?
18 times.
We don't care about Phil. He doesn't matter in Ohio.
That's right.
Phil is not accepted here. Now the camera would act up in the cold.
Weather like this, sure.
That's why we're not touching any of our gear. We're just going to let it sit here and get covered with snow. And if it doesn't work tomorrow, we'll blame Jeff. Blame Jeff.
Engineer.
No, great, yes.
Big thank you, by the way, to the iHeart engineers for getting us on the air. We kind of changed the rules on them a little bit this year. Do we have the mayor, county commissioners, any dignitaries that
Win some awesome
here? If
prizes,
so, come on up, guys.
events, concerts, and more. Thanks to the Door Guy.
They're used to this
Try to answer
routine.
the
They'll
Door
pop
Guy's
in.
Quickie Quiz question every weekday morning at 7:40 for your shot at the prize.
Hey, there we go. Come on
Residential,
up.
commercial, and industrial garage door specialist.
That's all right. We're going to have you say hi to everybody.
Red
At least
Hill
once.
America.
I'm Patrick Rauchi.
And I'm Adriana Cortez, and we're the host of
Sign
Red
it.
Hill America, a new storytelling podcast.
Red Pilled America tells the stories Hollywood and the mainstream media don't want you to hear. Visit the iHeartRadio app to listen to
Well, that's all right. Where are you the mayor from?
We're always there for you.
From
On
Clinton,
your
Ohio.
smart speaker. Just
South
say
of that.
play.
So why are you here today?
iHeartRadio.
My wife and I just enjoy taking
Now, the WMRN Weather Channel forecast, powered by Heartland of Marion, your bridge from Oswego to home.
That's awesome. We're going to use you during the break. Don't go
this week, and it'll be out on this Saturday. Partly to mostly cloudy, breezy at times with an afternoon high hitting 38, and then a cloudy sky tonight. There may be some drizzle or fog overnight with a low of 33, and a lot of cloud cover.
We will ask everybody where you're from. So James, stand by, my friend.
I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel.
Out of there, even. That's a little too much.
Say what?
It's been on top of the straw the whole time. Bring him out here and then it froze. Good to see you. We knew that.
Good morning and welcome to Marion, Ohio. It is Groundhog Day, better known as Buckeye Chuck Day, Jeff. And this is your 39th year of doing Buckeye Chuck.
Almost 40. She started in 1979 and I came here a couple of months after that. So 39, we got the flurries out here. Perfect day to determine whether we're going to have 6 more weeks of winter or not.
No question about it. We are going to have a wonderful morning. Thank you all for coming. I can't see how many, but it looks like a fantastic crowd on a cold day. And before we get into some of our festivities, how about a welcome from County Commissioner Andy Applefeller. How are you, my friend?
Great. Good to see you. It's a good thing for Marion, Ohio.
It's nice to see a lot of people coming here, right?
It is, but I'm not sure it's quite as cold as it was last year.
We've had it a lot colder. Actually, Scott and I were on the air yesterday talking about how our weather today might be some of the best we've had, and here we've got snow on it.
Well, I think it looks more like frost.
We'll call it frost.
We'll call it frost, yeah.
So I bet the county's been pretty busy doing some work on the roads. You guys have gone through, I'm sure, tons and tons of salt and whatnot.
Well, they have, but that's kind of the county engineer's bailiwick, and they're doing a great job. I certainly wouldn't want for the last last 2 weeks, I guess.
It's about the 16th of January. It's been crazy.
Yes, and they were really looking forward to this because I think salt's like twice the price it was a year ago. Have a salt shortage.
Well, Andy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourself. Get a Spam sandwich.
I'll leave that to others. I'd like to have one, but we'll see what they have at the end.
I got it. Thank you so much for being here. You are very welcome.
By the way, it is 15 degrees as we start out this morning.
15 officially, and wow, that's just crazy. Now, you've already had a Spam sandwich.
Could have been 8 below like it was a couple of days ago.
This is true.
So it always could be worse. It always could be a little bit better. With it being on a Saturday, we weren't really sure what kind of a crowd we would get. I think this is maybe double what we normally get during the week.
I would say that we are doing pretty well. You have something else to add?
Yes. Do we have any idea about what the numbers are? This young lady from Findlay asked me how many came to this, and I did 100, 200.
Well, I don't know. The way the lights are, I can't count heads, but I'm going to say a couple hundred probably.
So we probably have a couple hundred here. Yeah.
I think we need somebody to fly over and get that estimate.
Well, it'll be light around 7:45. As a matter of fact, the sun comes up officially at 7:41, and that's when Buckeye Chuck will make his official announcement, Jeff.
I did not know we were supposed to get some flurries overnight.
I'm covered in snow.
I know.
Jeff, why don't we do one of our customary deals? I'll hand you this microphone, or you can grab that one if you want. And if you would, let's find out where everybody's from today and see who came the farthest.
All right, right here down front, holding up the I Heart Buckeye Chuck sign. Very nice. Come on up. What's your name?
Brody.
Cody. What is it?
Brody.
Brody. And where do you go to school?
Grant Middle School.
Okay, Brody. Well, thank you for coming out and supporting iHeartRadio and Buckeye Chuck. All right. I understand there's somebody from Hawaii. Is that true?
Where is she?
She's in her car warming up.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have the mayor of Clinton, Ohio here. And where's the mayor of Clinton, Ohio? Come back up. You were up here a second ago. We got to hear his story. We got to get this story on the radio. Give him a microphone there, Jeffy. Tell everybody your name, my friend.
My name is Alan Mack. I'm here with my wife, Carol.
And where is Clinton, Ohio?
Clinton, Ohio, you can find it south of Akron and north of Massillon.
All right, so you've come here because you and your wife like to do what a lot of folks our age are doing, and that's go around and experience things. Tell us why you're here.
Exactly. We decided to come here. We had a choice to go to Pennsylvania. Or
you don't want to go see that guy.
You don't want to go to Pennsylvania.
He's a fraud. He's a fraud.
That's what we're thinking. That's
a fraud.
So we like to travel. We like to travel in the state. Sometimes we go out in the state to see my grandkids. We have, take a minute here to tell you what we have in Clinton. We have the only veterans park of its kind known to us in the country. It is made for veterans, by veterans. There's no tax dollars whatsoever. If you look at ovmp.org, we have the longest freestanding granite wall. It stands free, and on one side, we lost 3,094 men and 1 woman in Vietnam, and their names are all etched on that wall. So if you want to take a little trip, you want to drive about 100, 110 miles north, come visit us, get a hold of me, give you a tour. Check us out. So thank you very much for having us here this weekend.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for saying that. We love travel in the state of Ohio. People from all over Ohio come here for this. We think that's great.
Now, did you stay in Marion last night, or did you drive over this morning?
We stayed in Marion last night, and last night we went to Attaboys for dinner. We had steaks, and it was delicious.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Well, Mark Holbrook from the Convention and Visitors Bureau is going to be glad to know that they came in and spent the night there.
That's great. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for that story. Anybody else that has traveled pretty far? You can holler out where you came from. We're on the radio, but we'll make sure we let people know. You, Cyrus? Came down the road? Just down around.
I'm going to go do second.
Pardon me? You came down from Canton? Good. Well, we're glad it's on a Saturday. A lot of times we end up, obviously we have, what, a 5 in 7 chance that it's not going to be on a weekend. So we're glad you came out for the cold. The official announcement, 7:41.
And as we look out to the east, it is a winter wonderland out there.
Well, that's good. It's good and bad. It looks good on TV. It looks really good for Chuck's announcement. It looks really bad for us standing here. James Anderson, come on up. Jeffy, hand James the microphone. We're going to talk a little bit about the woodchuck, the Buckeye Chuck, the groundhog, and why are we here today, James?
We're here to celebrate and see if good old Buckeye Chuck is going to tell us if we're going to have a warm spring here soon or a longer, colder winter.
Absolutely. James, by the way, is our county's naturalist. Thank you guys for employing him. Many of the school kids have met him over and over again. He does programs at the library, does programs at Tallgrass Trail. You're out at Paradise. You're just everywhere teaching people about the nature here, right?
That's right, yes.
And today it's Buckeye Chuck Day, so it's only fitting that you're here. You've got a groundhog in your hand. Tell us, what's this whole folklore deal that brings us here today?
So it's a tradition that started actually way back in Roman times, but then as time progressed on, the Germans actually came over to the United States, and they actually didn't use groundhogs at first. They actually used badgers, but I guess badgers were a little bit more aggressive than the good old groundhog.
No doubt about it. Now the folklore says if he comes out and he sees a shadow, he gets scared back in his burrow. If it's a cloudy day, he sticks around. That means the weather's going to be fair. Spring's right around the corner, correct?
That's right, yes.
All right, so well, you got this groundhog. Why does he come out today? What's going on today? What makes February 2nd important?
So as long as it's a little bit warmer out, yes, they will be out this time of year. It's usually the males. He just tries to pinpoint hibernating females, so it kind of creates a mental map in his head. So late February, early March, when everybody's out of hibernation, he knows, hey, there's a female, and also to avoid competition against other males. So it's really smart. It's to avoid predation.
Tell everybody a little bit about hibernation. Hibernation, I think, is fascinating.
Yeah.
People go, they don't hibernate in Marion, Ohio. They do. Their heart rate goes down to practically nothing, correct?
Yes. When they're active, it's about 140, 150 beats per minute, but when they're hibernating, it's about 4 to 5 beats per minute. And their temperature actually decreases to about 35 degrees Fahrenheit. So they're actually the best hibernators in the state of Ohio. They're actually better than bears.
So the question is, how do they not freeze? I mean, do they find a place where they won't freeze? I mean, it was wind chill 35 below the other day.
Yeah, so they'll be in their burrows, and their burrows can be 6 feet deep and 10 feet wide, and I mean that'll avoid the wind chill and everything like that. But basically, yeah, it's just the warm body temperature in their fur. During the fall, they gain a lot of weight, and during hibernation, they'll lose about a third of that weight.
Right. When they come out, they're hungry and they're looking for a girlfriend.
That's right. They are.
Absolutely. Well, James has a little display set up. You can learn a little bit more if you've got some questions. You want the kids to learn a little bit more about Buckeye Chuck and all of his friends. I know you're in the garage doing that. Thanks for being here, my friend.
Oh, thank you. It's my fourth year being here. So
always appreciate your insight as to why we're out here in the cold today.
Oh, yes. we're all crazy.
Fantastic. Hand that mic back to Jeffrey. You have a proclamation, I believe. Yeah, let's do that here real quick. Mr. Stuyvesant should say hi. How are you?
Good. How are you? How's everybody this morning? It's a little warmer than it was a few days ago, but it's a beautiful winter morning here with I think it's the frost coming off the trees. But welcome everybody to Marion, and we hope you have a good time. We appreciate all the people that participate here. I heard the other day ice cream Saturday or Saturday breakfast. We should have that every day, shouldn't we?
Well, I don't know if it's minus 35. Rob would like that.
But we appreciate all these local people participating. Door guys and Tackett's and Robbie and all those people. It really helps out to make this a big celebration. I'm surprised there's so many people out here today. Parking was a little treacherous, but we'll just stop traffic on 423 and parking out there.
Well, usually when it's super cold, everybody can park in the yard here. It's no big deal. You can park and get out. But with the snow, I've had a lot of people in the last 24 hours go, where do we park? And I'm going, good luck, folks. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, if you park in the yard, you're going to need a tow truck.
Well, if they have a snowmobile, that might have been the easiest way to get here. But you have a good crowd, so I listened to your station coming over, and they were talking about Buckeye Chuck on there, the landscape or home improvement guys that are on every Saturday morning. So they said everybody go out and see Buckeye Chuck. So I thought that was really good of them to remember that and tell their listeners up in this area to get over here to see Buckeye Chuck.
Absolutely. Ron Wilson's a good guy. He obviously works for our company. I think today he's in Cincinnati or Cleveland. He was doing one of the two. I know at Sullivan, we're going to interrupt his show a little bit here and go into that. He's up in Cleveland this weekend doing a deal, so you can always check those guys out.
I just wanted to tell you, they hadn't switched it yet, and you were talking behind him on the radio, so we had to...
That would be my son.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was they hadn't cut over to you yet, so they had both on the radio.
Well, good. Hopefully I was good. It is what it is. You know, on days like this, we do some weird things. You want to read that proclamation, or we just want to make sure we have it?
Well, that's up to you.
Why don't you show everybody and we get a picture? We don't need to read it. We know what it says. It says basically that we're proclaiming this Buckeye Chuck Day, right?
He's the guy. He's the ambassador.
He is the ambassador. He's, can you even see that with the lighting as good as it is?
It's called
give it a shot.
It's called getting older.
On behalf of the county commissioners, whereas in 1979, Buckeye Chuck was designated as Ohio's official forecasting groundhog. That should be the U.S., correct?
Agreed.
And whereas February 2nd is the halfway point between the first day of winter and the first day of spring. And whereas Buckeye Chuck has been in his pen preparing charts, graphs, watching computer models of weather, and it doesn't look like he's busy right now.
He's not busy right now.
It says, whereas while there are many woodland creatures who claim to be
they think they're foretellers
of the weather future, Buckeye Chuck is correct in his forecast for spring an incredible 75% of the time.
The smart speaker away. Just say, play WMRN on iHeartRadio. Coming to you from the McDaniel Automotive Studios. It's just that simple. We're your bridge from hospital to home.
So milder air is going to settle in during this week, and it's going to be out on this Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy, breezy at times with an afternoon high 38.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Buckeye Chuck Show. Jeffrey, the mayor, is here. Why don't you chat with the mayor a little bit about what's happening?
The mayor has been up a little earlier, maybe the last few mornings than he had planned, but tell us how we've gotten through the last few days.
Well, I have gotten some early morning phone calls and texts. One of the gentlemen up here on stage has actually texted me early in the morning. But you know, we've weathered through, so to speak. It's been unusually cold, obviously, and we've had snow and ice, and our guys have been out working around the clock, and we're getting the streets cleaned up.
All right, are we up to date as far as the trash pickup?
Oh, I believe we are. There may be a little bit today if they did not get to finish yesterday because the transfer station where we take the trash closes at a certain time. So they were going to come in today and finish up if they had to. I didn't get up early enough this morning to find that out. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, you got up plenty early, especially on a Saturday. You do so many things throughout the course of the year, and I know this is right up there. This is one of your 2 or 3 favorite events.
This is one of the fun events I get to come to. Started off 2019. I was listening to the story of Buckeye Chuck, and I was thinking, that sounds a lot like Jeff. Jeff was a rescue DJ, was he not? And are we not going to let him back out into the wild later on this year? So thank you.
Back when I was Dr. Boogie, I saw the errors of my way.
Are we ever going to hear or see Dr. Boogie before you leave?
Not in this lifetime.
Come on! Who wants to see Dr. Boogie? Your fans are with you. Come on.
The bell bottoms are long gone.
Well, thank you for having me out today. Thank you to the crowd for coming out. It's awesome to see everybody this morning. I did not bring a proclamation, so I would just like to say, on behalf of the city, I would like to proclaim today, February the 2nd of 2019, as official Buckeye Chuck Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And Mayor, you weren't here earlier, but the mayor of Clinton, Ohio is here. He came down and he stayed in town and had dinner at Attaboy's and just touring around the state.
Well, there should be a mayor's booth then if there's more than one of us here. You know, where you get warm? No.
In my office right over there.
No,
yeah, you can
I'm staying out here.
I should have told James the other day, I heard him on Morning Magazine, and he was talking about how Randy had asked him, in the super cold, you know, what do these animals do? And he was saying they hunker down, they get in their burrows, whatever. But he also said as soon as the sun comes out and it warms up, they're going to be out. I was driving Upper Sandusky the other day. I'm on 199 heading into Upper Sandusky. I'll bet I saw 30 deer that were out in the sunshine. And it was still, I think, 5 or 6 degrees. But James was spot on. He was absolutely right. I'm like, yeah, the sun's out. They're trying to find some food and get out for a few minutes before they hunker back down. But so feel free to spend a little time with James. He knows what he's talking about. But thank you all for being here.
And a lot of the groundhogs are rather docile, shall we say. This is one of the more aggressive, feistier groundhogs that we have had in a number of years.
Yes. Have we heard him whistle yet? You know, they also call them whistle pigs because they whistle. Have we heard him whistle? We had one a couple of years ago that we had in the building because you like to keep them warm so they're a little more active.
Yes, absolutely. And I went to pick him up. It was a couple of years ago, and he didn't like that much. He let me know.
Buckeye Chuck, once again, like we said, he is a wild animal, so he's pretty burrowed in there right now, isn't he? I don't blame him. I would be burrowed in too. All right, what's our official time, my friend? Are we?
3 minutes.
I feel like it's New Year's Eve in Times Square or something. We're starting the countdown here very shortly.
Absolutely. Do you have your information there? Are you ready to
I do have the information.
All right, let's run down one more time the story of Buckeye Chuck and why we are here in regards to groundhogging.
All right, well, the earliest mention in the U.S. goes back February 4th of 1841. The entry reads, last Tuesday, the 2nd, was Candlemas Day, the day on which, according to the Germans, the groundhog peeps out of his winter quarters, and if he sees his shadow, he pops back for another 6-week nap, but if that day is cloudy, he remains out, as the weather is to be moderate. And the other mention of today's events from a Scottish couplet that refers to the special day, stating, if Candlemas is fair and clear, there'll be 2 winters in the year.
Doesn't look too clear, does it?
No.
I'm feeling pretty good where we're at right now. Now tell the story of why Buckeye Chuck is here. I believe that is right there with Doc McClaskey and
very good. I remember that, as Scott alluded to. Charlie used to have this kind of corner office, and he used to look out and see stirrings of the groundhogs. It's like, well, we need something for Marion, Ohio to be proud of, to kind of hang our hat on. We did not have an official animal, I guess, at that time, so he was good friends with Doc McClaskey down in the Prospect area, and got together with the state representative, and they proclaimed Buckeye Chuck as the official groundhog, and we are here 40 years to the day.
Yep, 40 years to the day. Buckeye Chuck is 40 years old. He doesn't look a day over 16 months, but by golly, he's 40 years old. And Jeffy, with that being said, the reason why we have you making Buckeye Chuck's proclamation, because later this year, you're 40 years old here too, right?
I started May 1st of 1979, so I will be 40 years old in a couple of months, you're right?
Yeah, and so they're kind of twins. You didn't show, you came here and went, what's the Buckeye Chuck thing, right?
Oh, there were a lot of things when I came here that I was wondering what would have...
Well, you were Dr. Boogie.
I was Dr. Boogie, and of course, the peanut push, which continues to this day, started many, many years ago. So it's good to be able to get out and do things in the community.
Well, you have certainly made both of those events part of yours, and we appreciate that as this is your final run here with Buckeye Chuck. Well, you'll keep coming back on Buckeye Chuck with us, won't you?
Well, I don't know.
Come on!
I will be back.
We'll keep giving you a winter coat. All right,
we're about 30 seconds. All right.
Jim, I'm going to step aside. You make your proclamation for Buckeye Chuck. You got your cameras ready, folks?
All right. Feel like we need to do the countdown here. Scotty will let us know when it is officially 7:41. And again, thank you for coming out. This in 5 minutes, this place is going to be like deserted. Everybody's going to go home and get warm.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming out.
Can you blame them? Can you blame them? We're almost there.
All right. We're going to count it down.
Thank you once again to our friends at Scioto Schumacher for sponsoring our appearance today.
For sure. Count it down from 10, bro. Go.
All right. Counting it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is now 7:41 a.m. in Marion, Ohio, USA on Candlemas Day. It's Groundhog Day, February 2nd, 2019, with the snow flurries coming down and with 4 inches of snow on the ground. The skies are mostly cloudy, so therefore Buckeye Chuck, Ohio's official weather reporting groundhog, does not see his shadow, proclaiming
That is about the best news we could possibly hear, right? I mean, you guys remember back in December, we didn't even know if we were going to have winter, right?
Oh, no, not at all.
And then for the last 15, 18 days, and really the last month, we've had nothing but winter. And I think everybody here today is in agreement.
So, it's official. We can start taking the layers off.
Well, I think even the school kids are ready for winter to be done, because there are a lot of calamity days and hours, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're to the point that they don't want to do the blizzard bags. They'd rather be in school.
We're not going to be mowing our yards anytime real soon either.
Well, that's well, we were standing around here yesterday, we were saying, no one wants to know why would they do a $500 gift for people who either want winter to stay or when you get here, because one of the days you need to get a snow blower, or you get them home. That's true. Thank you very much for going. We do have a winner, and we're going to let Chuck announce our winner. Now, these guys went to the website, they did.
Yeah, no problem. But I don't know what building it was. I don't know if it was, there's a house on
Let's go. You want to see this, Grandma?
Today is February the 2nd, and everybody in Central Ohio knows that February 2nd is a big day in Marion, Ohio. It's Groundhog Day. And we were all just out here at the radio station, and we watched Buckeye Chuck come out and tell us that spring is right around the corner. So we're all pretty excited here in Marion, and I hope the news will spread across Central Ohio, spread across this country, that spring is right around the corner.
How exciting is it that spring is supposedly right around the corner?
Well, based on the past week that we've had here in the Midwest, the sub-zero temperatures and snow and ice, schools have been closed, I think everybody is going to be extremely happy that spring is just around the corner.
How important is Buckeye Chuck for the city of Marion?
You know, Buckeye Chuck has been around for a long time. We heard them, the DJs talking about the history of Buckeye Chuck. If you grew up in Marion, Ohio, you were aware of Buckeye Chuck. He is very important. It's part of travel and tourism in Marion, Ohio. I know a lot of people think a little groundhog that doesn't mean much that we see on the side of the road, but it's big for Marion, and it brings some national attention and attention from all around the state of Ohio to Marion, Ohio. Good, positive attention, and the good news today is spring is coming sooner rather than later.
Now, how accurate do you think his actual forecasting is?
Look, I've been in politics for about 20 years now. Buckeye Chuck is the most accurate weather prognosticator that this country has ever seen.
Is there anything else that you want to mention I didn't? Hold on, that was really good. Let's try that again. Is there anything that you want to mention I didn't ask?
Well, I just want everybody to enjoy the day and enjoy spring right around the corner.
Awesome, thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Feel his fur? You know how, and if you feel the other guy's fur, their fur, the groundhog's fur is very rough. It's called coarse. It's kind of like your jacket. You know how the water touches your jacket and it just kind of slides off? Their fur does the same thing with dirt, so the dirt just slides off. You ever played dirt before and sticks onto your clothes or skin?
Oh, we'll never get through all
Well.
this.
Well, Buckeye Chuck told us that, yeah, you just got to shoot.
Chuck is the #1 weather prognosticator in the United States, and I know
40 years of Buckeye Chuck. We started back in 1979. Perfect weather conditions today with the snow flurries and the snow on the ground. So Buckeye Chuck, with his prediction, I think we're all ready for an early spring. So in case you missed it, he did not see his shadow. So that means it's going to be an early spring. And I think everybody was pleased with that announcement today. And with it being on a Saturday, we certainly had a good couple hundred people out here today. So we had a nice turnout. And again, we're ready for an early spring.